Today's scripture reading is taken from John 20, verses 1 to 18. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved, and said to them, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid them." We do not know where they have laid him. Then Peter and the other disciples set out and went towards the tomb. The two were running together, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent down to look in and saw the linen wrappings laying there, but he did not go in. Then Simon Peter came, following him, and went into the tomb. He saw the linen wrappings lying there and the cloth that had been on Jesus' head, not lying with the linen wrappings, but rolled up in a place by itself. Then the other disciple, who reached the tomb first, went in, and he saw and believed, for as yet they did not understand the scripture, that he must rise from the dead. Then the disciples returned to their homes. Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and one at the feet. They asked her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." When she said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabbi," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to God, but go to my friends and tell them that I am going now to be with God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen Jesus." And she told them that he had said these things to her. This is the story of Easter.
Jesus is alive. I know you'll think I'm hysterical with grief. You will think I need sleep or a reality check. But I do know that he was killed. I was there through all of it. From the very first time he said my name, Mary. It was after all the headaches stopped. Maybe it was the reason the headaches stopped. I don't know. People said he called the demons out of me. Maybe that's so. I know demons: guilt, fear, rejection, deceit, shame, loneliness, anger. But the love I saw in his eyes consumed me and them. He treated me with kindness, with compassion. I wasn't used to that. People didn't usually call me by name, and certainly not men. They had other names for me, whispered behind my back or said straight to my face, but not Jesus. When I heard my name, things changed. My life changed. In fact, he gave me the name that I'm known by now, Magdalene. Some people thought Magdala was the place I came from, and others thought it was a word for harlot. But that's not what it means. I wasn't even that Mary. It means the tower. I assumed that he gave me that name because I was taller than some of the other women, But I also kind of hoped that he found me rooted, stable, a safe place. Most don't know how many conversations we shared and how many times we talked about the future together. I liked looking ahead, the way you can see from a tower. I wonder if that was part of it. I never thought of that. Lately, I've been telling myself to be a tower of strength, but it hasn't been working because I was there and watched them kill him. We stayed at a distance. The soldiers wouldn't let us get close, but we knew what we saw. We watched him die and couldn't do a thing to stop it. All I could do was cry. What happened afterward was a blur of tears. I cried for days. I was still crying when I came to this place. I came with more of the spices we used to prepare his body and went to take my watch, to say my goodbyes, alone this time. I left the other women sleeping. We were so tired from weeping. The mist hung heavy over the cemetery, and the first light was beginning to give a silver glow. Everything was so still. It was as if all earth was waiting for something or someone. I was lost in my grief. I almost didn't notice until I was on top of it. The tomb had been opened. That huge stone that had taken several soldiers to roll it had been moved aside. My heart beat hard in my chest as I stepped slowly inside. It was empty. Who had taken his body? Where? Why? I ran to Peter and John for help, and they found the same thing I had seen. The body gone, only the linen wrappings left behind. Why would they unwrap a dead body? Peter began to rage about grave theft, but John and I exchanged a look. I could almost hear Jesus, something about the third day. Could we dare to believe? He shook his head. It couldn't be. They went back home and told me to stay or to go home and get some sleep too. But I stayed, leaning against the tomb. It was all too much, and I found myself weeping again. I had thought I was out of tears. But then out of the corner of my eye, I caught a flash of white from inside the tomb. I turned and found two angels. I just stared at them as they asked me why I was weeping. Then I burst out, "They have taken my Lord away, and I do not know where they have laid him." And then I heard another voice asking the question, "Why are you weeping?" A gardener. "Why am I weeping? My world has ended. Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." But then his voice, "Mary." And one more time, as he said my name, my life was changed. Just like that, death fell away, not only from him, but from me too, and from us all. I hated to let him go again, but it was different this time. I went and told the others. They don't believe me yet. And I had to come back here to remind myself that I wasn't imagining things. Everything is the same, but it's completely different because I know that Jesus is alive.
hushed their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy